Because you have the back and the front completed, it's time to do the right shoulder seam. It doesn't matter if you do the right or left, it's just that today we're doing the right first to help orient you toward later skills. If you remember from Meet Your Bond, you have to have the right side of the back facing you when you hang on the shoulder stitches. Let's hang them, you put these all the way forward, you fold over your waist yarn, and you hang all 14 stitches of that shoulder. Then you fold over this one. Remember, make sure that it's the right shoulder and that it is the wrong side facing you. What we're trying to do is put right sides together here. Hang those 14 stitches, pull the front stitches through the back, knit one last row, and bind off. Join me after you finish that right shoulder seam, and we will learn the skill of rehanging all the way around the neck edge to knit the neck rib. Once you've completed the right seam, you have two choices, one of which is to complete the left seam and then pick it up with a circular needle and knit it by hand, as this one was done. The only reason I did these ribs by hand is that this is alpaca, and I like to use a twisted rib. But what we're going to do is the entire thing on the bond today, so we are going to stretch open that neck edge, and we are going to rehang it in order to knit the ribbing down. Notice that the wrong side is facing me. And I'm going to begin by inserting a couple of green cards. Now this is a kid's sweater, and I know that it's not going to have a whole lot of stitches around the neck. But when I have an adult sweater, I start way to the right of my frame because I might have a whole bunch of stitches and I don't want to run out of needles when I get down here. Which brings up another question. First, I'm going to put my glasses on for the first time. My cheaters are here. People always ask me, and patterns are always including information about how many stitches. Here I am, I'm going to start with the back of the neck. Don't start with the shoulder. Here's the back of the neck, right here. I'm glad I said that out loud because I was looking at you and I wasn't paying attention to my knitting. And I was going to hang the left shoulder on here. Good, okay. Start with the back of the neck stitches. This is just like the waist yarn that you do at the top of the shoulder when you're doing a seam. And rehang those all the way around. Okay, back to the subject of the number of stitches. Patterns frequently tell you to pick up X number of stitches around the neck edge. So you get out your safety pins, you divide your neck edge in quarters, you try to fudge here and there, and sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't. I have a standard way that I have been working for the last several years for all the sweaters I make, including those that go to the gallery. When I am making a crew neck, which is the same neck hole shaping as a turtleneck or a cowl or a little stand-up collar, I simply pick up every stitch all the way along the back of the neck, every row along the side front shaping, and notice that this is our last stitch in the back of the neck. We're going to have a little hole here, but fortunately we have a string hanging and we will creatively close that hole later. And this is where we're coming down to the side of our neck. Remember when we did that front neck shaping? This is where we did our decreases. Now, we did every stitch, now every row. And by row, I mean you lift those two loops from the end stitch and hang them up on the needle. This little hole can't be prevented. I don't use that one because that's in the seam, but this is kind of a judgment call here. Whichever way you choose to go, it's certainly not something that a knight can see from a galloping horse. And there are degrees of perfectionism. If you tug that down, you should be able to see there. I didn't get both loops. You are simply hanging the two loops of the end stitch. See that? And because your selvage stitch always kind of looks like a loop and a knot and a loop and a knot, I actually missed one there, but I'm not going to go back. You're not allowed to miss any today, but I'm working in front of a videotape, and this is the most boring section. I mean, from your point of view, I was trying to spice it up. I really wouldn't have thought of it that way until an acquaintance of mine said to me recently, gee, I can't think of anything more boring than to watch a videotape of people sitting around knitting. And I said to her, how about people sitting around watching one person knit? That's even worse. Okay, here we go. Now, How do you tell where that stitch is? Watch very carefully. See this line of stitches here? And that comes up, let's see, there it is, it dips below there. So this is the one that we have to hang. Now we are going to continue all the way across here, hanging all of these stitches that are the front of the neck. Remember the 12 that we took off on waste yarn? So hang all of those. When you get to the corner, and by the corner I mean where you run out of the front neck edge stitches, sometimes those very end stitches want to pull down. Don't be afraid to tug on your waste yarn, okay? There they are. They're down there somewhere. Sometimes if you tug at the end of your waste yarn, it gets lost in there, okay? And then immediately there's the end stitch, turn over and do every row all the way along. That's always the perfect formula. 2 sizes smaller or 1 key plate smaller, pick up every stitch and row all the way around, and it always works out perfectly. Now I would like you to stop the tape and rehang, starting at the right hand side of your bed, all the back of the neck stitches, and make sure that the wrong side is facing you. Then all the way along the front of the neck edge, every row, all the front 12 stitches, and then, let's see, it starts toot, 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 the end. Don't hang on that other shoulder seam. Once you get to the end of these stitches, you'll know you're in the right place. Then come back and join me, and I will show you the special cast on to help you start this ribbing.